Are you even wondering why your social media account keeps getting hacked? Can this hacker be stopped? Don't worry. Watch this video till end, and you will find the answer. Security starts with several principles that organizations include as core security goals. These principles drive many security-related decisions at multiple levels. Understanding these basic concepts helps to give you a solid foundation in security. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability together form the security triad. Each element is important to address in any security program. Additionally, a well-designed security program addresses other core security principles, such as safety and layered security. What are this element? Confidentiality prevents the unauthorized disclosure of data. In other words, authorized personnel can access the data, but unauthorized personnel cannot access the data. Integrity provides assurances that data has not changed. This includes ensuring that no one has modified, tampered with, or corrupted the data. Ideally, only authorized users modify data. However, there are times when unauthorized or unintended changes occur. This can be from unauthorized users, from malicious software, malware, and through system and human errors. When this occurs, the data has lost integrity. Availability indicates that data and services are available when needed. For some organizations, this simply means that the data and services must be available between 8 AM and 5 PM, Monday through Friday. For other organizations, this means they must be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Organizations commonly implement redundancy and fault-tolerant methods to ensure high levels of availability for key systems. Additionally, organizations ensure systems stay up to date with current patches to ensure that software bugs don't affect their availability. Okay, next will be understanding control types. There are hundreds, perhaps thousands, of security controls that organizations can implement to reduce. Technical controls use technology to reduce vulnerabilities. An administrator installs and configures a technical control, and the technical control then provides the protection automatically. Administrative controls use methods mandated by organizational policies or other guidelines. For example, management may require personnel to periodically complete assessments and tests to reduce and manage risk. Physical controls are any controls that you can physically touch. Some examples include lighting, signs, fences, security guards, and more. CompTIA has placed a lot more emphasis on physical security controls, including environmental controls such as HOT. Ideally, an organization won't have any security incidents, and that is the primary goal of preventive controls, to prevent security incidents. Some examples are hardening, security awareness and training, security guards, change management, account disablement policy. Detective controls. Although preventive controls attempt to prevent security incidents, some will still occur. Detective controls attempt to detect when vulnerabilities have been exploited, resulting in a security incident. An important point is that detective controls discover the event after its. Corrective controls attempt to reverse the impact of an incident or problem after it has occurred. Some examples of corrective controls are: do you know what is command line? So, the command line is a program that is run by typing text commands on a computer to perform a specific task. Like you run the application by clicking on it, but with the command line you have to type code to run the application. So now, we will learn some command codes on Windows. In Windows, we will use CMD to write command line code. Okay, the first command line code you should know is ipconfig. The ipconfig command is used to view the details of the network you are using, one of which is the IP address, MAC address, and default gateway. Next is ping. If you want to check a site or network computer, you can use the ping command combined by the site address, or IP address. For example, if you want to access facebook.com but it doesn't open, You can check it by pinging facebook.com, if the timeout means Facebook is having problems. Okay, next is netstat. Netstat is a command that serves to bring network connection statistics to the computer that is currently being used. The netstat command has many variations, and one that is useful is netstat-an, which displays a list of open networks on your computer network. The result is like this. It is a frequently used command line. However, many more command line exist. These are some examples: append, ARP, chdir, copy, shutdown, and many more. There are some advantages of using command line. The command execution process is faster than using graphical user interface. Just type 1 or 2 words, press enter, it will be executed immediately. Next is, process uses small memory. If we use a command line, then, the more efficient your work.
Alright, now we move to authentication concepts. What do you know about authentication? Authentication is a technology that provides access control for systems by checking to see if a user's credentials match the credentials in a database or not. In other easy terms, the authentication is used to prove user identity. These 5 factors of authentication that we should know. What is that? We always use all of these factors when we need to verify something. For example, if we forget our social media password, we need to use these factors to recover or reset our password. The 5 authentication factors are something you know, something you have, something you are, somewhere you are, and something you do. Something you know is such as social media username, pet name, and your password. Something you have includes all items that are physical objects, such as keys, smartphones and smart cards. Something you are includes any part of the human body that can be offered for verification, such as fingerprints, palm scanning, facial recognition, retina scans, iris scans, and voice verification. Somewhere you are is location factors such birth of place, first school and hometown. And the last one is something you do, such as gestures on a touch screen.
Multi-factor authentication, MFA, is when the user must provide 2 or more factors of evidence to verify their identity to gain access to an app or digital resource. Multi-factor authentication verifies the consumer's identity in multiple steps using different methods. Hence, it provides another layer of security on top of the login credentials. The goal of MFA is to create a layer defense that makes it more difficult for an unauthorized person to access a target, such as a physical location, computing device, network or database. If one factor is compromised or broken, the attacker still has at least 1 or more barriers to breach before successfully breaking into the target. 3 main types of MFA authentication methods. Firstly, things you know, knowledge, such as a password or a PIN. Secondly, things you have, possession, such as a badge or smartphone. Lastly, things you are, adherence, such as a biometric like fingerprints or voice recognition. Are you tired of someone using and ruin your account? Don't worry, start managing your account now. Why? because if you use only one account and anybody can use it, it's possible that one of them might change your file or information. Don't panic! Here is a tip: start managing your account now. Before managing, there are 4 types of account. They are: most accounts are for regular users. Administrators create these accounts, and then assign appropriate privileges based on the user's job responsibilities. Microsoft refers to this as a standard user account. A privileged account has additional rights and privileges beyond what a regular user has. As an example, someone with administrative privileges on a Windows computer has full and complete control over the Windows computer. These are useful if you want to grant someone limited access to a computer or network without creating a new account. For example, imagine an organization contracts with a temp agency to have someone do data entry. Some applications and services need to run under the context of an account, and a service account fills this need. As an example, SQL Server is a database application that runs on a server, and it needs access to resources on the server and the network. What are you waiting for? Start managing your accounts right now! Are you wondering how to control the access of a file or an information? Access Control Model is the right answer. Access control ensures that only authenticated and authorized entities can access resources. For example, it ensures that only authenticated users who have been granted appropriate permissions can access files on a server. There are 4 types of access control models. They are: role-based access control uses roles to manage rights and permissions for users. This is useful for users within a specific department who perform the same job functions. Rule-based access control, Rule BAC, uses rules. The most common example is with rules in routers or firewalls. Routers and firewalls use rules within access control lists, ACLs. In the discretionary access control, DAC, model, every object has an owner, and the owner establishes access for the objects. Many operating systems, such as Windows and most Unix-based systems, use the DAC model. A common example of the DAC model is the New Technology File System, NTFS, used in Windows. The Mandatory Access Control, MAC, model uses labels to determine access. Security administrators assign labels to both subjects, users, and objects, files or folders. Thank you for watching.